So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Galaxy S24 versus the 14 Pro Max speed test. Let's begin with a boot up in 3, 2, go. And now I'm kind of excited to make this comparison because this used to be my main beast here, the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it is that 2-year upgrade. We had the S23 Ultra, the 15 Pro Max. So some people might be thinking about, should I trade it in for this or not? So you can see the iPhone 14 Pro Max does turn on just a little bit faster than the Galaxy S23 or S24 Ultra. I also have to tell you that I did disable the double swipe. So when we do the RAM management, I did it through Good Lock. It's going to be a lot closer than ever before. In terms of the actual in-display fingerprint sensor though, you just tap it and you can go ahead and get into the device really quickly. Just like that, very fast. You actually don't even need to look at this phone. If you know where it's at, it just kind of will go in. So it's a pretty easy unlock method. Now with the iPhone, you swipe up or you lift it like this and it should go right in. So it's a pretty quick and convenient way to do things as well. I still think that since Apple did not put a Touch ID on the power button or in the display, the Samsung edition is faster to unlock than the iPhone, just because it's just bypassing that step. In addition, if you do the face unlock through the punch hole camera, you can go straight in. Now, swiping through the Galaxy S24 Ultra revealed a far smoother experience than Samsung of a few years ago. Even smoother than the S23 Ultra due to having a One UI 6.1. If you got the update, it's pretty close on that phone as well. But generally speaking, it's super smooth, super buttery quick, pretty much every single day now. And it's really nice to see that because that's something I've been wanting on Samsung phones forever, and we're finally at that point. Now the iPhone's still very smooth as well, although the app library not as smooth as the other home screens. Is still very smooth all around. And it feels a little less fast though than the S23 Ultra, S24 Ultra. It feels the S24 Ultra just feels snappier. This feels a little bit slower, but maybe visually more smoother. All right, so here we are at the app test. Now I removed some of the base applications like calendar, calculator, weather, those basic applications. We're gonna go straight third party to begin this one. Let's start with you've seen everything is closed out here. For that phone, everything closed out there. Let's begin with Groupon. And you can see faster on the Galaxy, scrolling through. I feel like when scrolling though, it still looks a little smoother to my eye for this 14 Pro Max than the Galaxy S24 Ultra. When scrolling, it's very fast here, but on that initial scroll, sometimes it can be slightly choppy. So that's just a little something. It's not Samsung's fault. It's the third-party apps are not always kind of as quick or as smooth as some of the ones on the iPhone. One thing to note is both with non-linear animations, you'll see the overall, I just dropped my Android man, the overall look was pretty much the same. Let's go into Twitter or X and you can see faster on the left. We're still loading here. We'll hit the profile pages here. See, this was quicker on the iPhone. There was a little chop there. I did not like how that looked. Still super smooth here. It's like it's snappier on the Samsung, but then sometimes it doesn't look visually as smooth in certain applications. Let's go into Instagram. And does it really matter day to day? Not really, but I do notice it when I'm switching back and forth. I do notice, oh, well, it's faster on the Samsung, but I notice when I go to the iPhone, it's like, oh, it's smoother. I do notice that. Let's go here to the home. Let's go over here, and you can see within an Instagram pretty good. Although the stories is smoother on the iPhone experience, I did notice. Let's go into Amazon. The Samsung much faster here. But don't think I'm just because I'm saying this is a speed test. I'm telling you how I feel about the performance. Don't think I'm saying the iPhone's a better phone. I'm not saying that. We have AI over here that's faster on the left. We have multitasking features I can only dream of on my iPhone. I'm still dreaming of that. Let's go to Starbucks. Faster here on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. And we have much more zoom on the S24 Ultra. And so you can see we're here in Temple Run. What's gonna happen? Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. quicker than the 14 Pro Max. I really love that this phone is so fast. Now, this boost with the Galaxy experience, with the Snapdragon, you definitely want the Snapdragon version of this phone. It's really nice to see that, you know, it can outshine an Apple device, because before I felt like I was making speed tests for a few years and every single time Samsung was kind of losing. Not anymore. It's not that case no more. Samsung is swinging now, swinging for the fences for the best performance out there. But there's still some Android phones that have smoother animation, so they can just work a little bit there, and they're just like an inch away from like perfection. Let's go into play, and the good lock actually improves the experience. This was faster on iPhone. Watch this. Now when we swipe out, we don't have that double swipe. I took that off with good lock, so you can see when we swipe out now, it looks basically the same. Let's go into Jetpack Joyride. That makes me think I have to redo all my speed tests now, because because I didn't have that enabled before. You can see faster for the iPhone to load Jetpack. So gaming, very quick still. Let's go into Free Fire and see which one has this one. And looks like the Samsung is in the lead. Who's gonna take it though? Whoa, that was the iPhone, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get up out of here. We'll go into PUBG now, and we'll see how fast PUBG takes to load here. I do really notice this anti-glare, anti-reflective coating screen. This thing is unbelievably good for the S24 Ultra. Like, ever since getting this phone, every other phone looks kind of washed out and not as like anti-glare. It just looks, that was faster than this S24 Ultra. It just looks freaking amazing. Now the match screen might be a little bit different because it's, you know, searching for a match, so that could be a little bit different on either one of these, so keep that in mind. But the, like I say, the anti-glare is super noticeable here. This new improvements for sure. So you can see we're now in the match here. When actually doing any type of gaming experience on here, the iPhone does very well. The Samsung probably stays cooler to the touch overall, but the iPhone definitely has pretty similar kind of performance. They're both kind of similar in that respect, although the Samsung might be able to sustain it a little bit longer due to the larger heatsink. Let's go into the hill climb. 3, 2, go. Let's see how fast we can get into this more casual game now. And we'll see faster there for the Samsung. Let's head up out of here now, and let's go into 3D Mark. Faster on the Samsung. Get some old results. We'll do a new test today. Let's go into Geekbench 6. Faster on the iPhone there. This one is actually optimized for the 14 Pro Max. Let's go into Speed Test Net. Look faster on the iPhone. And InShot. Faster on the Samsung. So overall, after these base applications, I would say overall I think that the Samsung has snappier app opening. I think the 14 Pro Max has literally not aged a bit. It's super quick still. They still have the A16 Bionic chipset in the iPhone 15 Plus. So this phone is not really aged much at all, which is why I can compete with the latest and greatest out there. So Apple Silicon showing that it still has that longevity factor here, even though the 14 Pro Max came out in 2022. So we're going to do the RAM management the same, because I want you to see that they basically, with the good lock enabled, there's going to be no major difference. Let's go into 3D Mark, hill climb. So here we go, bang, see that? We don't have to do the double swipe. So now iPhone and Samsung pretty much neck and neck right there. So that's a great enhancement to the phone for sure. You can also in good lock change your task, like how you go back between your applications. You can change how that looks. I actually made it for this video kind of look the same as the iPhone. You see that, like the same stack style, but see the difference is with the Samsung you hit close all, and so that's it. You've seen in the RAM management, even though this has 12, this has 6 gigs RAM. They both did very good, pretty much identical there in our RAM management, although you could actually multitask and use a lot more of the RAM here versus here, which is just kind of open a single app at a time. Okay, so the final Geekbench scores are in, and surprisingly, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, well, maybe not so surprising, this is Geekbench, beats the Galaxy S24 Ultra in the single and in the multi-core score. I'm not going to say I wasn't expecting that. It's going on the multi-core, but this really does not say anything about, I would say, the actual real-world performance. Let's go into the start screen. The real thing that I have noticed between these two is that the Samsung phone is snappier, and this one still has visually smooth animations similar to that of the 15 Pro Max. But I feel like the Samsung definitely has kind of like way more features overall than the iPhone 14 Pro Max. I'll be back when they're done with their 3D Mark test. And our final scores for the Wildlife Extreme are in, and you could see 4,308 on the Samsung, absolutely crushing the 14 Pro Max at 3,015 with an average frame rate of 7 FPS higher. What that means is a smoother gameplay. You'll see down here scoring better than 91% of devices, the 14 Pro Max scoring better than only 70% of other devices. And so you can see here that the Samsung in the graphical department definitely shines over the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Let's go ahead and run a quick speed test net. We're going to see if this can pull in better signal strength, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the same server here for the iPhone while we're waiting on that one. And let me tell you, the Samsung is a beast when it comes to network performance. It's pretty much won in all these tests that I did comparatively to other iPhones, and you could see 604 on the download, and we're looking at around 24-ish on the upload. Let's go ahead and start this one right now, and I'm guessing we're gonna get close, but not quite as strong as the Samsung. You can see right around 530. See, we just don't actually match it here for the Samsung, or for the Samsung. You can see 553 on the download, and then here for the upload, it looks like we're going to get pretty close on the upload, but that download speed usually pulls in stronger for my Samsung phones. But the upload looks about the same, so pretty good there. Not a big issue on that. Let's go ahead now and take a look at one last thing. We're going to go ahead and do a quick camera launch just to see which one can launch those first. Now, from the camera perspective, they're both very different in how the features they have, but let me go ahead and do that again. I had it on the front-facing camera. 3, 2, go. You could see, was that Samsung? Let me know down below. Let's hit the camera. 3, 2, go. That looked like iPhone. We'll do it one more time. 3, 2, and go. Now that one looked like Samsung. So they kind of trade. There's not a big difference here. Let's go ahead and hit the shutter key. Not a big difference there either. So that's going to wrap it up here for me. The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra and the iPhone 14 Pro Max, both very, very good smartphones. Is it a great upgrade from the 14 Pro Max to S24 Ultra in the area of performance? I would say not a major one. I would say though that if you do want to try Samsung, I think you'll really like this change. It's definitely a change, and it has the same, if not better, power in certain areas than your iPhone 14 Pro Max, and especially more multitasking power. So that's how I would decide there. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.